Good Friday evening, everybody. I'm not Dana Martin, but this is Jim Funke with Boiler Room Radio, and my sidekick over there is Lance Musser in Virginia in the easy chair. What's going on, Lance? How's everything going?
Pretty good, pretty good. Like I was telling you earlier, I officially, as of today, have no children in the public school system. My youngest daughter graduated today. From high school, so
outstanding!
Hoorah!
Yeah, no more indoctrination into the collective.
Yeah,
she graduated from Borg Academy.
And it's funny because at the graduation, stuff's changed since you and I graduated. Obviously, they used a lot of Harry Potter references.
Serious, man?
Yeah, they used a lot of quotes from Dumbledore and. They were wearing their Harry Potter gear, get up, and that's, even the valedictorian said that. So times have definitely changed, but, it is so sad, as I'm sitting there thinking what kind of world that we're leaving to these young graduates that, cross the threshold of independence, if you will, today.
I'm going to read that story.
Perceived independence.
Unless you want to read it. I'll read it if you want to read it. Okay.
No, you can't. Which one? The slide one?
Yeah, we'll do that after we do Smoke'em's Market Minute.
Unreal. So, I was, it made me sad. I didn't have the emotion that I had my son graduated 2 years ago because all I could think about was, man, these kids, really don't have as much to look forward to as we had to look forward to and our parents had to look forward to.
Jax just cursed you in the chat room, brother.
Why's that?
He said, now come grandkids. Jax. He's going to name the first one after you, brother.
Grandkids are definitely not in my future because my son's autistic. The chances we've had DNA testing or chromosome. We've had chromosome testing. And it turns out that if my daughter has children, the chances that she'll have an autistic child or Asperger's is like 80% because of the genetic tie. So I think the Musser name is going to die out with my son. We won't be having any grandkids that we know of unless they're adoptions.
I'm adopted. My sister's adopted. There ain't nothing wrong with that shit.
I don't have anything wrong with adoption.
That's right.
At all.
That's right. All right, let's jump into Smoke'em's Market Minute.
All right, well, go ahead and do that if you want to run out and do your thing.
Yep, I'll be right back.
The markets today, if you had a 401k, now is the time to, actually I've been saying this for months now is the time to definitely dump it. Borrow from it as much as you can because the penalty that you're going to pay by borrowing from it now will be nothing when it drops 20-30%. It's at 16,700, so we know it's artificially up still, but it's down 200 from what we had earlier. And one of my good stories that I picked out for today is one of the King World News ones that I always favor. But this is the secret reason why the Chinese are buying so much gold, because we've been talking about that recently. As the world seems to hurtle from one crisis to another, today, a man out of Europe who has been extremely accurate with his calls on the gold market sent King World News a fantastic piece which reveals the secret reason why the Chinese have been buying so much gold. This is from Ronald Peter Stoferel of Incrementum AG out of Liechtenstein. And you actually have to roll it. Liechtenstein. I can't get it there. But the critical situation in the future of the U.S. public finances have started to cast more than a shadow of doubt on the currency of the U.S. dollar, which we talk about all the time. Although the U.S. GDP in terms of global economic output has fallen to only 25%, the U.S. dollar still accounts for more than 60% of the global foreign exchange reserves. It seems that...
There he is, boy.
Did everybody hear Carl?
Did everybody hear Carl? I got Carl on a cock-a-doodle-doo on the air for first time, goddammit.
Yep, I heard Carl. Just as a side note, we heard Carl before we got on air, and we were like,
10 more minutes. I was wondering, come on, Carl, give me another one. He will.
Yep.
He never does just one.
If I hear him, I'll stop, or you can cut me off real quick.
There he is.
You need to go put a mic a little bit closer to his pen. That's what you need to do. Run a thing out there. A true critter mic. But what I was talking about was that the dollar, China, Russia, India, and well as Japan, intend to increase the share of trade invoiced in their own currencies so as to circumvent the U.S. dollar. And this clearly marks the shift because more than 2/3 of all the U.S. dollars are held abroad. If it seems absurd and illusionary today to think that the U.S. dollar could lose its status, we've talked about it before. There's been 6 of them in the last 300-400 years, and there will be another one after that as long as we can live long enough. Since the Chinese current account surplus has been on a steady decline, the widely held opinion of the massive undervaluation of the yuan seems to be more susceptible to questioning as well. Therefore, a quick internalization would make perfect sense from a Chinese point of view, or internationalization.
Internationalization.
Yeah, that's a big word. Officials have also confirmed
one of high school words, man. Go ask your daughter.
The head of research at the People's Bank of China recommends investing in gold in order to protect and diversify China's currency reserves. They said that the gold was the only safe haven for risk-averse investors, whereas other forms of investment from government bonds to property were losing value. Therefore, we expect the central bank to continue gradually accumulating gold, and we think that it might be planning a gold backing for the renminbi.
Oh, my goodness.
And if that were to happen, international acceptance would soar
between China,
of the enormous amount of gold.
Between China and Russia, they have 40,000 tons.
And India. India has the silver.
Silver, yeah.
India has a lot of silver right now.
Go ahead.
So that's it on that story. There was... Remember we talked about the 5 banks that were all paying like, what, $70 billion in fines to the...
Yeah.
Another one...
That may go.
Another one, Citigroup, said to face $10 billion request in U.S. talks. So these banks or the Justice Department is basically sitting down with these banks, negotiating a settlement amount to make everything go away.
Yeah, look, they're going to sit down and they're going to say, hey, look, you've gotten all this X amount of dollars from the Fed, right? And you're sitting on all this cash because you're not loaning it out to anybody and you bought it at ZERP, 0% interest. So why don't you give the government some?
The Justice Department has asked Citigroup for more than $10 billion to settle a probe into the lender's sale of mortgage-backed bonds before the 2008 financial crisis. So let's
so are they going to give that money back to the people that they stole the houses from?
But let's hammer that home again. Nobody's going to get in any trouble.
No.
To settle a probe into the lender's sale. So settle the probe. That means they're going to stop looking into it. And again,
look at MF Global, dude. Would they lose $1.6 trillion? And nobody went to jail over that shit either.
With a T. With a T.
Yeah, with a T. $1.6 trillion disappeared from MF Global. And nobody's ever found any of that money. Nobody's ever gotten back any of their money. And nobody's ever went to jail.
Nope.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, that was the end of it on that story, really. It was just I wanted to mention
ranty
there was more story, but I only wanted to mention it that, hey, that was bank number 5 or 6 that we just listed. That's another $10 billion.
With a B.
With a B. Have you heard of Ugly Gorilla Hack?
What'd you call me?
Ugly Gorilla Hack.
Oh, no, I haven't.
Somewhere in China, a man typed his username Ghost and password Hijack and proceeded to rifle the computers of a utility in the northeastern U.S. He plucked schematics of its pipelines. He copied security guard patrol memos. He sought access to systems that regulate the flow of natural gas. He cruised channels where keystrokes could cut off a city's heat or make a pipeline explode. That didn't appear to be his intention, and neither was economic espionage.
That sounds like that one movie, Fire Sale, with Bruce Willis or something. Wasn't it Fire Sale or something like that? Where they were rerouting gas to all over the place trying to make shit explode and blah, 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 and they took...
Something like that.
Yeah.
While this guy was one of the Chinese officers the U.S. charged last month with infiltrating computers to steal corporate secrets, this raid was different. The hacker called Ugly Gorilla invaded the utility on what was probably a scouting mission. So that raised my antennas right there, that we've got Bloomberg talking about a scouting mission.
Napolitano said before she left to go to California and start making millions of dollars that we were going to get hacked.
Mm-hmm. So exactly.
Laying the groundwork for the false flag.
The hacker called Ugly Gorilla invaded the utility on what was a scouting mission looking for information China could use to wage war. Ugly Gorilla is one of many hackers the FBI has watched. Agents have recorded raids by other operatives in China and in Russia and Iran.
Well, if the FBI is watching him, it's got to be a CIA agent.
All apparently looking for security weaknesses that could be employed to disrupt the delivery of water and electricity, impede other functions critical to the economy, according to former intelligence officials with knowledge of the investigation. The incursion spurred debate in the Obama administration over whether and how to respond, and raised alarms among lawmakers briefed on the incidents. This is as big a national security threat as I have ever seen in the history of this company, and we are not prepared for it, said a Michigan Republican Mike Rogers. And he's a chairman of the House Intelligence Committee, which that would be one of those oxymorons there, who agreed to talk about the attacks in general terms but declined to discuss specific incidents. Your palms get a little sweaty thinking about what the outcome of those attacks might have been and how close they actually came.
Mm-hmm.
So here you've got another person. We had Napolitano when she was on her way out talking about cyber threats. We've got mainstream media talking about cyber threats. Did you see the latest satellite that's getting ready to go up and measure for O2? What's O2?
Oxygen.
No, the other one, carbon dioxide. It's getting ready.
CO2.
It's going to be measuring for CO2. Did you see this?
No.
All right, I saw this on mainstream.
If this has anything to do with global warming, what a waste of money.
Well, it's very interesting because I was watching it on mainstream media this morning.
How many freaking satellites we got up there already watching that shit?
Well, no, this one's measuring CO2 specifically to see how much is it our breathing, is it, different kind of things breathing, et cetera, et cetera.
No, it's us deforesting the planet.
But in the image that the satellite showed it taking off, arms extending on it, then it showed it in orbit over the Earth. And the last image before it went to, back to the people, the anchors, was shooting a laser beam straight down onto the planet. And I'm like...
No kid.
I was like... Did you see that? Foreshadow. So we'll have to Google that later because it was on a mainstream media thing. But, here you've got all this going on and then a picture of a satellite shooting a laser down at the planet. But it was just to test CO2, I'm sure. But,
And burn a hole through your car while you're driving to work.
Well, they said that it's so delicate that it can measure how much CO2 is coming from us, an individual.
Oh, so they're going to target individuals with the laser.
Well, that's what they said, is that they can actually determine how much is coming out of each person.
Great.
That was on, I think I was watching the weather.
Is flatulence CO2?
Waking Up with Al Roker. That's what it was. It was Waking Up with Al Roker. I actually woke up with him this morning.
I wonder if they're going to put one of the rods from God satellites right next to it, and then if they find somebody that's expelling too much CO2, they'll just drill them into the ground like a nail with a huge titanium rod about the size of a telephone pole.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't that be cool?
Something's going to happen before, something's going to happen. We all know it.
What else you got?
We don't know what it is. Really, nothing more on the financial stuff. I mean, the last thing I saw pop up, keeping in mind it was from RT, so you got to figure the bias of it. The Ukrainian prime minister orders the government prepare to stop the Russian gas imports.
Oh my goodness!
So, that would piss Putin off a little bit if they decided to do that. Because if you remember, Putin's making them pay up front for any more gas, and they don't want it. Because they're demanding it to be back down to that low price that it was before the conflict. And, so we'll see what happens on it. But that was a breaking story that came out today. But we'll see what develops over it and talk about it again on Monday.
Right on. Scott gave a report today. It's Friday. So we'll give him his 224.
Whoa.
Guess what? I forgot to mute the room. Again. That's how many times now? 5? Gosh darn it. All right. Got that done. Here we go. Nice birdies.
Hello, this is Scott, and this is the Hyper Report. Here are the quotes for various items. First, downfall. Wall Street's Republican whore, pawn, also known as Eric Cantor, lost big time to our Tea Party candidate. It turns out that Boeing, recipient of low-cost taxpayer-funded lending, may be the biggest loser of the Cantor's defeat. John Bonnier teared up to the unexpected loss. It's not often that tears drives me to smile, but I hope this starts a trend. Next, global housing alarm. The goons at the IMF are sounding a global housing alarm in that they publish new data showing housing prices are well above their historical average in many countries. Of course, there are exceptions like Japan, where housing prices are 41% below its long-running average relative to incomes. Next, 19 facts about U.S. economy. Here are a few. 1. The number of job cuts by U.S. employers is on the rise again. 2. 1 out of every 6 men in their prime working age ages 25 to 54 do not have a job. 3. 53% of wage earners in the United States make less than $30,000 a year. 4. The average age of vehicles on America's roads has hit an all-time high of 11.4 years. 5. The U.S. economy did not experience any economic growth during the first quarter of 2014. Next, changing tune. After years of Janet Incapitanto lying to the public, stating that the border was never more secure, her successor, Jay Johnson, now acknowledges that there is a problem. Well, duh. He goes on to say that the fault cannot be blamed on Obama. That was likely because Obama was too distracted with golf, Obama-wreck, and destroying the U.S. Constitution in that order to give a flip about national security. Next, gun homicides. Despite national attention to the issue of firearm violence, most Americans are unaware that gun crime, according to a Pew Research Center analysis of government data, is down 49% since it peaked in 1993. Next, student debt. Obama's working feverishly with Senate socialists or Democrats to build political pressure to force taxpayers to pay for mounting student debt. Sound familiar? Think GM, AIG, or too big for jail banks. That big sucking sound is Obama near your wallet. Next, legal tender. A new law that goes into effect on November 1st makes gold and silver coins legal tender in the state of Oklahoma. The new law eliminates a tax on precious metals for investors. After all, it does not make sense to tax a currency. Finally, please prepare now for the escalating economic and social unrest. Good day.
Oklahoma was one of the only states that had a tax on people purchasing gold and silver, and they are eliminating that. And they are turning gold and silver into a currency. Tangible currency to be paid anywhere in the state. And the second thing I want to rant on for 30 seconds is the gun crime. Obama, pay attention to your own Pew Research, right? Pay attention to your own to your own buddies out there at the CDC, because they keep track of it, and the FBI stats and everything else. Gun crime is down 49% since 93 when it peaked. Stay away from our guns, jackass. Stop feeding these kids SSRIs. Lance?
No, I agree.
Okay, just checking. I was going to call you a sheep if you didn't. I didn't hear Carl again.
Carl! Hey! Wake up out there!
Maybe not. Well, at least we got him on the air. First time. I knew I was going to get it done, and the days are getting longer, so it might happen more often now, but I wanted it tonight because he was going off right before we went on the air. I wanted him on the air tonight, and we got him twice, so we're good. Hey, Manarino's like huge long tonight. He's got something to say. Red alert, proof that a global economic collapse is very near.
Well, he's mirroring the X-22. He's mirroring the people on King News. So, I mean, he's let's see what else he's got.
Okay. It's 12 minutes, so we're going to see how far he rants.
Yeah, exactly. He'll start double talking.
Yeah, okay.
Hi, everybody. It's me, Greg Romero.
Hey, I just told everybody.
Today. It is Friday, June 13th. Friday the 13th. 2000.
Jinx, you owe me beer.
All right, people. I'm going to cover a few things today in this video. One specifically that I really want you all to pay attention to and, you know, try to get the word out there, because there is one metric, and I've talked about this before many, many times over the past several years, where you can gauge that this entire nonsense of an economic recovery is a farce. It's just so simple, and they use every distraction possible to not let you look in this direction. And we're going to talk about that because it's just so important here. So what's going on? Several things, actually. Today, all of the major indices did put on some gains here. Nothing dramatic. This really isn't so much of a surprise here in the face of what has happened over the past several trading days. I think we had 3 down days here. So you would expect a bounce here. I'm not saying that we're not going to recover. I believe we are. I think the market is going to recover all of the losses that we've sustained over the past week here. Beyond any doubt. Again, check my site, traderschoice.net. I am long 3 positions there. I think they have a high probability.
Bullshit!
Much higher with the overall market. And I believe, again, and it's something I've been talking about for a very, very long time, that the world central banks are going to do everything they can, and things that we haven't even thought about, people, to keep this propped up. It's their main objective. Is to
because it'll be global.
And I've gone over why.
Absolutely,
it's nothing more than a backdoor bailout for Wall Street at the expense of everyone else. So today we got some more economic news. Not so good here.
So they switch it over.
Found out, and this is kind of funny.
That's
really.
Watch
financial channels like I do, or you go anywhere on the web. They use the same terminology, and that is this. We found out that consumer confidence unexpectedly fell. Unexpectedly.
Oh my
it's always
goodness.
Unexpected. Are they insane? Really. I was going over a lot of the insanity in yesterday's video when I was talking about, well, watch that video and you'll see what I'm talking about here. But let's just name a few things here that are just so obvious and so, again, in our faces, and how consumer confidence
Hurry up, man. You're taking up my show.
fall unexpectedly. Actually, it plummeted to a 3-month low. Should be no shock and no surprise to these people. But again, they have to play this up, and it has to be spun in every way humanly possible. No, the number one reason, I think, why consumer confidence is low is this inflation. There's no doubt that we are seeing massive food and energy inflation, unaffordable housing, a labor force participation rate at a 35-year low. The prospects for any real gainful employment are just disgusting. We have negative interest rates here in our country. People don't understand this, but it's absolutely true. If you have an interest-earning account, you're being paid interest less than the actual rate of inflation, so you're being robbed. Again, this is part of the Federal Reserve's manipulation of interest rates. They're robbing everyone else again, and making the upper tiers of society much, much richer. It's a very scary and dastardly mechanism. And again, the dumbed down public just simply doesn't get it. And again, this is going to go back to the one metric that, again,
the ones that can get it can't do anything.
Some of you out there probably know where I'm leading already.
Say what?
And that is
the ones that do get it can't do anything.
And
no, and if they say something about it, they wound up wrapping a tree around, or their car around a tree, or taking a header off a hill or off a building, or
And if you can understand this one concept, you can clearly make sense of what is going on here. We found out this month that the velocity of money is at an all-time historic low. For those of you out there that want a very simple explanation for what the money velocity is, well, here it comes. The velocity of money is a measure of how fast, or the rate at which cash is changing hands in an economy. Very simple concept.
Mm-hmm.
Without cash changing hands in the economy,
on Wall Street,
you're going nowhere.
Yep.
This is an absolute fact. You have to have cash moving around in an economy for there to be any economic growth. So again, we are at historic lows here. Please check that article right down here. So this one metric just literally flies in the face of all the nonsense that they're trying to force feed us about an economic recovery. There is zero. Let me put another perspective on this for you. Okay. We understand, and this is a fact, this is not speculation, that the money velocity is at historic lows. We also know this, and this is a fact, that the Federal Reserve keeps printing this cash out of thin air, these fiat bills, and flooding them all over the world at record paces. Does it make sense to any of you out there that in an environment where the demand for these bills is at an all-time historic low, the Federal Reserve keeps printing them out of thin air?
And more are going to be coming back.
It should make
more are going to be coming back to the United States because of all these countries that are de-dollarizing as we speak.
And dumping any treasuries or bonds that they have.
That's right. And that's going to cause hyperinflation in this country. It's coming.
Also understand this, again, very easily researchable.
It's only happened 5 other times in history.
Demand for U.S. dollars, as the world reserve, is falling off of a cliff. So again, we have money velocity here at historic lows. We have countries of the world backing away from the U.S. dollar, diminishing the demand for these bills, and yet the Federal Reserve keeps printing them. That goes back to something I spoke about in yesterday's video, where it really tore up President Obama here. Now, he's promising to do whatever he can now to get in here in Iraq, except for putting boots in the ground. He's talking about
nobody for 2016.
This goes back, people, to another concept that is so basic.
Because nobody cares.
So
nobody will get the job done.
And that is this. And I've
they will.
about this for years now. We have an economic model that is based upon the relentless acquisition of debt in perpetuity. It can't stop. That's why the Fed keeps printing these bills in an environment where
they've created a monster.
And they get paid.
It's clearly losing its reserve status. So
say what?
Cash,
yeah, they get paid when they loan it out.
Yeah.
And the best way to do that, the most expensive.
All right, we're 7.5 minutes into that Yahoo.
Yep.
Well, he's not a Yahoo. I play him on my show. He's not a Yahoo. I listen to what he says. I really do. I hear it from other places though, and he's just like verification, right? Because he's ass deep in the thick of it, right?
Another nail in the coffin.
Right. So I listen to him to verify what I'm hearing from other sources. That's the reason that I play Manarino, is because he sums up about 5 other videos that I listen to on a daily basis. So, and he also backs up Lance. Lance usually hits the shit before he does. So,
and he's a con man, so I mean, we want to hear what the other side's doing too.
Right, that's exactly why. He's ass deep in it. That's why.
Yes, he is.
And when you start listening to him talk to the homies, you understand. He's talking about his freaking BMW and his new haircuts and his suits and shit. I mean, he lives in Vegas, for Christ's sake. What's the cost of living in that town?
Yeah, he looks like a gambler for sure.
Yeah, he looks very single too. You know what BMW means?
Break my wallet?
No.
Then I don't know.
Because of my wiener. because he has no wiener. You know, people that drive BMWs usually have no wiener.
Yeah, they said about me when I drove my Corvette too. So,
Corvettes. I mean, the Corvette's just a flash car. I mean, usually, if you see a guy with a Vet, he's usually single or they got no kids because there ain't no place to put a car. You know what I mean? So
not that.
Unless the wife's right behind you, 300 yards with the family truckster.
Exactly.
But I never really liked Vets. I don't know why. I just never did.
I love them.
I like riding in them. I just never thought I'd spend my money on them.
Yeah, the C5.
Everyone that I really liked, and I went, man, I'd love to own that car, was about $50K, and then I'd choke to death on my tongue. So,
She had brand new ones at the dealership. You can spend $100,000 on them.
Oh yeah, they're crazy,
sick, crazy sick. Yeah,
because they compete with the high dollar shit from overseas, right? The Maseratis and all that.
Oh yeah,
so
exactly.
Like, oh well, we can go ahead and jack the price up.
Porsches,
anyway.
high-end Mercedes-Benz, stuff like that. Yeah.
Sheesh.
Yep.
It's a truck.
They're the ones making it off of Wall Street on our backs right now.
It's a truck frame. It's not even custom-made frame. It's a truck frame. Okay, never mind. I might be wrong. I might be wrong about that. I don't know. Alrighty, so we're going to jump off rabbit holing now. We got 28 minutes left in this show. It's Friday. We're going to get out of here early. You got stuff you got to do, like go take a nap because you missed yours early.
Exactly.
We need to hurry up and get this show done so you can go take a nap, everybody. Did you take your meds?
I did. I just took it. You heard the timer go off?
Outstanding.
Yep, that was my timer.
All right. So this is a story that Lance passed me just before we went on the air. And it disgusted me. So I want to let all you people know, especially you people out there that are with kids, that have children. Jules, I hope you're listening to this right now because your kid goes to public school. Granted, this happened in Illinois, but I'll bet these sickos are everywhere in this country.
Oh, yeah.
10 jagged screws. Oh, by the way, this is ABC News out of Chicago, I believe. We'll get to it here in the story. Yeah, Oak Lawn, Illinois, excuse me. Oak Lawn, Illinois, ABC News. 10 jagged screws were drilled into the ends of 2 children's slides at an Illinois park, endangering any kids who zoomed down the plastic ride. The sabotage at Memorial Park in Oak Lawn, Illinois, which is very close to my sister, but she doesn't listen to my show. She thinks I wear tinfoil hats.
You do?
It's very, very nice. It's a beret. I keep telling you, it's not a hat. It's a beret. Anyhow, they were discovered before any children used the slides, and police are investigating the incident. The screws were exposed, and the heads were intentionally snapped off, police said, so that you could not remove them with a screwdriver. Man, I tell you what, if I ever catch somebody doing that shit, I will drive his forehead into one of those screws and then call the ambulance. Park officials removed the screws from the slides using a hole punch before anyone was injured after the park patron reported them, said Oak Lawn's park superintendent Joel Craig. The park district stated that they would be examining the equipment daily, and the Oak Lawn Police Department has increased patrols in the area and is encouraging parents to take high precautions. I added the high. Parents should look for any loose equipment or actual damage, and if they see anything, call 911, said Michael Kaufman, division's chief at Oak Lawn Police Department. Craig also stated anytime you're in the park, you need to be vigilant. Prepare your kids. A similar incident occurred earlier this year when a 2-year-old boy was cut on his hands by one of nearly a dozen razor blades that were glued to playground equipment in Moline, Illinois. Craig stated that there was no indication 2 cases are connected. It doesn't seem to be the same kind of incident. That one took a little more effort to do, he said. Kaufman also stated that persons responsible would face charges of both criminal damage and felony battery if anyone had been injured by the screws. You know, I would think they would face something like willful intent to do bodily damage or something like that. I mean, come on, let's try to slap them with a felony, fellas, so that these cats see the inside of a pen for a minute. That way, justice can be served. Because when you mess with children and you go behind bars, you don't have an easy time. Most of those guys behind bars have kids. Good luck to you jackasses up in Illinois. I'm telling you, these are the same shitheads. They just found something different. It was easier and quicker to get in and out instead of trying to epoxy razor blades. Some kids really got cut by those. These screws, if it would have been a boy sliding down that slide, could have ended his childbearing life.
Yeah.
Think about that. Anybody in Northern Illinois, if you're listening to the sound of my voice and you have children, don't take them to a city park. Don't. Just don't. It's not worth it. Even the birds agree with me. I'm going to pass this story to chat so people can see this disgusting display. There is a video that goes with this, everybody. So I thought better than playing a video, I would go ahead and read it myself.
I got one.
Go ahead.
So I was watching the U.S. Open today because it's, on the golf at Pinehurst.
Yeah, Jack's had a second. Jack said it could go that same direction for a girl, too. And it's true. It depends on how far those screws were sticking out. I mean... Absolutely. So, yeah. So,
no problem. But we were watching that, and it went to the local news after that. And there was a local story up in Newport News, right up the road, not far. Police say 2 men were attacked by a mob of 20 people after they stopped a shoplifter from stealing.
Say that again?
At Wawa. So hold on. Let me set the...
okay. Sorry.
Set the scene. Officers were dispatched to the Wawa located in the 1400 block of Warwick Boulevard around 3 p.m. for report of a mob assault.
What's a Wawa?
A Sheetz, a 7-Eleven,
okay.
A big convenience store that sells gasoline.
Gotcha. Corner store.
Bigger than a corner store. They're corporate.
All right, I gotcha.
7-Elevens.
Kind of like a Casey's and shit like that.
Exactly. The victims, both 23-year-old men, told police they were working as landscapers when they were attacked by the group. So Eli said the investigation showed the victims stopped one of the males from shoplifting inside of the store. So they caught him stealing a candy bar or whatever, made him pull it out, and the kid ran out of the store.
Okay.
The juvenile left and returned with a group who then attacked the victims with lawn tools as they worked. And there were 20 people in the group.
Are you kidding me?
This kid, 18 years old, because there's an apartment complex, a hood apartment complex, directly across the street from this Wawa. So the guy ran over across the street, gathered up 20 of his buddies, and came back across the street. These 2 guys, the guys that stopped him, were inside taking a break because I saw the interview on the video. They went inside to get a soda, stopped the kids from shoplifting, went back out, went to work. While they were out there landscaping, 20 kids came up and started attacking them with lawn tools and everything else.
That is ridiculous, man.
Where
were these? Go ahead.
They were both charged, because they did catch them, with 2 counts each of assault by mob. The victims and witnesses positively identified him that he was also the primary aggressor. They're adults, and they know better. I've seen people shoplift. I've told stores that they were shoplifting, and they just let them go. Sometimes it's just better to let them go and then don't get insulted or assaulted. So, yeah, punk-ass kids got stopped shoplifting, ran across the street, brought 20 of their friends back, and kicked these guys' ass.
And those guys got charges out of it?
Yeah.
The 2 that got their asses kicked?
The only 2, that's all I see. I didn't see any of the other mob that they caught. But
see, they should have, man. At this point, people, it doesn't matter if they're a group of 10-year-olds. If there's 20 of them coming at you, cold cock some of those kids and let them get the taste of what, there are consequences for your actions. These kids are getting away with way too much. Their parents need to be lined up and slapped in the face, too, for raising little jackasses like that. But seriously, man, I wouldn't give a shit how old they were. If there was 20 of them coming at me, there would be a bunch of them going to the goddamn hospital.
Yep. Yep, but that happened local. And, I mean, that's
unbelievable, dude. You need to get your ass west of the Mississippi. I swear, I'm not kidding, man. I mean, you laugh me off every time I say that. I'm not kidding you. 2/3 of the population of the United States live east of the Mississippi.
If I could get my sheeple family to move, I probably would.
At this point, dude, stuff them in the truckster and go. If they're bitching on the way, they're bitching on the way. So you can take your chances diving out the window, man, but I ain't turning around.
Fluoride drinking, MSM watching, sitcom series, reality show watching.
I know.
Sheeple, all of them.
I know.
Pisses me off to no end. I can't wake up a damn one of them. My mom believes me. She said, "Well, I believe you, so just tell me what to do when the shit happens." I'm like, "Well, it'd be too late then. I'm trying to tell y'all now."
Yeah. It's just ridiculous, man. You got anything else over there, man?
No.
I'm going to head over to my Twitter and see what
Detroit reached a deal with the bondholders in their bankruptcy thing, because if they didn't, they were talking about getting pennies on the dollar. So I'm not quite sure how much this new deal's for, but the insurance company is going to end up paying it. Limited tax general obligation bonds is what they're called, is going to pay it. So that's good news for the Detroit people, at least.
Nice.
Because all they got going for them right now is the Detroit Tigers, and there's a Detroit Tigers game going on as we speak in Detroit.
Yay, sheeple. All right. Well, I was going to go to my Twitter, but now my computer doesn't want to run fast. It wants to run slow because there's something going on with Skype. I'm telling you right now. It's been happening for a couple of days now. It did this to me on Wednesday, too.
Our phones, I think it's those solar flares, those 3 little solar flares we got. It must be messing with my phone company's satellite. Because I text, I'm not getting iMessages now. I'm only getting
just regular text.
Regular text messages.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, still the green bubble. What the hell's that?
I don't know. Oh, yay, my Twitter came up. Yay. Well, now I can't scroll, but
hey, I got something to bring up real quick. If people can do their own research on it.
Mm-hmm.
So, I was bored last night because I was on pain pills, oxycodone or hydrocodone or whatever it was. So I was just sitting there in the chair, vegging out, watching Discovery Channel. I think it was Discovery Channel.
Mm-hmm.
Megalodon.
Yeah.
Megalodon.
That the big ass elephant. Yeah, okay. Yep.
Right, the shark that, people say, oh, it went out. But I'll tell you what, Google it, go to YouTube or something. It was a 2-hour special. And they showed a World War II photo of down in Cape Town, the German U-boats. South Africa, I'm sorry. They showed pictures of German U-boats out there as they were going around the Cape, or the Horn. And they got this picture of this shark that was about 60 foot long. They got the dorsal and the thing. And it just now made footage, that was in a lost or a
archive.
Hidden, archive thing. And this is coming out. They planted cameras on the bottom of the ocean, and they got one on camera and measured it at 30 feet.
There's great.
There's
30 feet.
A Navy helicopter. And all this started with a boat attack 1 year ago, this in April, and it was in Australia.
You're not kidding, are you?
No, I'm not. I'm not kidding. I mean, this was a real attack. They show the guy, he catches a shark. 2 hours later, something hits the boat from underneath. That people are gone. You never see him again. So you got to go. Everybody's got to go. YouTube this. I think it was Discovery Channel. But the new Megalodon, it was a new special that just came out.
The new Megalodon.
I'm telling you, there is some
that was the name
serious,
of it, the new Megalodon.
No, the new show. But there is some serious
what was the name of the damn show?
Megalodon. But
come on.
There was some serious confirming evidence that this thing exists. Navy helicopter footage from a search and rescue. They pulled this guy out of the ocean, and they film, and you can see it. There is a 60-foot shark that swims right under this guy as they snatch him out of the water. And they got it on camera. I mean, and all of them are like, holy crap. But like this boat that got killed in Australia.
These aren't whale sharks like the one that's got the white stripes going down them. Okay.
Because what they determined from that boat they found at the one in Australia, that it was a shark that hit it. There's whales that have pulled up that have proved that the tail was bit off in one bite, and only a mega shark could do this. So they're saying that because of the volcanic activity, because of the shifting plates and stuff like that, these animals, hold on, these animals, because you're seeing more and more animals that people thought were extinct, and this is proven. There's more and more animals surfacing that we thought died off 10,000 years ago. And we're finding them because of, and this is what they're theorizing, all these shifts, the volcanoes, the Japan one, the Indonesia one, that these animals that have lived in obscurity in separate parts, unobserved parts of the oceans in the world are now having to move because of all the tectonic activity. And that's why we're getting more sightings.
They were huge deep water animals, and they're having to come a little shallower now.
Right. So it's worth a Google. And so if you want to go to YouTube and watch the Discovery Channel, dude, you'd be convinced. You'd be like, man, I could see this happening. I could see this happening.
I thought I was going to be convinced by the whole mermaid thing, too, when they had the mermaid show on. I caught clips of that on YouTube, and I was like, wow, they got the one footage on the inside of the sub where one of them comes up and actually touches the glass and looks inside the sub as the guys are cruising around. You know what I mean? That's pretty convincing.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I don't know. I'll check it out. I'll see if I can find it. Megalodon.
Yeah, it was Megalodon. I watched it last night, and it was just... it all started because they had this expert come out and, find out what knocked over this boat and killed the 8 people. Well, they determined it was, a shark that came from underneath and tipped the boat over. I mean, there's video of it. They found the video recording that the people on the boat, they showed the footage where they got hit. The guy lost the shark on the line.
Right.
2 hours later, it was dark, and they said, oh, man. And then all of a sudden, it was like a Jaws movie. Boom! And the boat just flipped over. And that was it. All of them went in the water, never be seen again. But they showed it because the person was filming, and then 8 days later, when they went and searched the wreckage, they found this girl's camera that had filmed the entire shark battle and everything else while it was on a reel, and the actual hit of the boat that made it flip over, and that they messed with the audio so they could get rid of background noise, and they were like, shark. Somebody said shark on it. Wow. It's pretty convincing, man. Everybody ought to check it out. It's pretty cool.
Right on. Megalodon. And that's actually a good tie into this next story. I mean, I guess it's going to probably be the last one we do. We're down to 10 minutes. But that was a really good. I'm going to have to go check that out.
It intrigued the hell out of me that I'm going to do some more research on it.
Outstanding. We might have to do a show on Megalodon. Okay, and that ties into this. Well, let's check this out, folks. I don't know if you caught this or not. Lance dropped this to me. A reservoir of water 3 times the volume of all of the oceans on Earth has been discovered deep beneath the Earth's surface. The finding could help explain where Earth seas came from. Now, I don't agree with their theory, but the water is hidden inside blue rock called ringwoodite. Ringwoodite. That lies 700 kilometers underground in the mantle, the layer of hot rock between the Earth's surface and its core. The huge size of reservoir throws a new light on the origin that the Earth's water. Some geologists think water arrived in comets as they struck the planet, but the new discovery supports an alternative idea that oceans gradually oozed out of the interior of the Earth. Steam. It would be steam, folks. I mean, you know, there's like super hot rock just beneath Yellowstone, not 700 kilometers down. I would think it'd be steam if it was that deep.
Well,
anyway,
and this is
you know,
just
if
under
that's,
the U.S.,
if
right?
you go, well, I don't know. No, I don't know.
It is. That's what it says. Keep reading.
Oh, okay. It's good evidence the Earth's water came from within, said Stephen Jacobson of Northwestern University in Evanston, Illinois. The hidden water could also act as a buffer for the oceans on the surface, explaining why they have stayed the same size for millions of years. If you believe scientists know everything. Pinging the planet, Jacobson's team used 2,000 seismometers to study the seismic waves generated by more than 500 earthquakes. These waves move through the Earth's interior, including the core, and can be detected at the surface. They make the Earth ring like a bell for days afterwards. If the Earth rings like a bell, it's hollow, people. It's hollow. Just like the moon. By measuring the speed of the waves at different depths, the team could figure out which types of rocks the waves were passing through. The water layer revealed itself because the waves slowed down, as it takes them longer to get through soggy rock than dry rock. Jacobson worked out the advance of what would happen to the waves. Water containing ringwoodite was present. If the water containing ringwoodite is present, he grew ringwoodite in his lab and exposed samples of it to massive pressure and temperatures matching those 700 kilometers down. If you believe that, I have a... Never mind. Sure enough, they found signs of wet ringwoodite in the transition zone 700 kilometers down. Imagine that. Which divides the upper and lower regions of the mantle. At that depth, the pressure and temperature are just right to squeeze water out of the ringwoodite. It's rock with water along the boundaries between the grains, almost as if they are sweating, says Jacobson. Jacobson's findings support recent studies by Graham Peterson of the University of Alberta in Edmonton, Canada. Pearson studied diamond from the transition zone that had been carried to the surface in a volcano and found that it contained water-bearing ringwoodite, the first strong evidence that there was a lot of water in the transition zone. Since our initial report of hydrous ringwoodite, we found another ringwoodite crystal also containing water, so there is evidence. So the evidence is now very strong, said Pearson. So far, Jacobson only has evidence that the watery rock sits beneath the U.S. Oh, yeah, okay, there you go. He now wants to find out if it wraps around the entire planet. We should be grateful for this deep reservoir, said Jacobson. If it wasn't there, it would be on the surface of the Earth, and mountaintops would be the only thing poking out.
That was cool.
That is cool.
I like that. I like that.
The Earth's hollow, folks. If there's water down there, they're seeing the ocean on the inside of the planet.
Well, inner Earth water.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. Okie dokie. That's a hell of a story, man. I mean, yeah. What was that?
That thunder. We're having a bad thunderstorm right now.
Are you serious?
Yeah, that's
Wow.
thunder.
You at the place with the basement?
Dude, we don't have basements here.
Just
Come on, man. We're below sea level.
Did you bring your tsunami ball in the back of the truck when you went to the other location?
That's right.
Just kidding. Hey, man, if you're getting any of the shit we got, you're going to get rain for days. So hang on. And
Yeah, we got
fill
on
up
and
your
off.
water wings.
Yeah, it's supposed to rain till midnight, and then we're good through the weekend.
We got about 5.5 inches of rain in 7 days here.
Mm-hmm.
5.5 inches of rain in 7 days.
Well, that's good for all the people that want to grow stuff. So,
The lake is up probably 20 feet.
yeah, I mean that's a good thing. I mean,
It's pretty cool. It really is.
better than the alternative.
It changes the whole look of things around here. You know, the water level coming up like that, it changes everything.
Yeah, I'm sure they've had their fair share of, no rain, drought stuff there.
Mm-hmm. We got time to hit one more story really quick, I think. We still got 4 minutes.
Cool, go ahead.
All right. This is one that, I don't know if I want to end the show on this on a Friday. No, I'm not going to end the show on this on a Friday.
All right, good.
Let's see if I got anything else. Oh, here we go. This is kind of a good one. Unprecedented. This is unprecedented, folks. Another first time in history.
But it's totally normal.
But it's totally normal, right? 13 aircraft mysteriously disappear from radars in the heart of Europe.
Yeah, I saw that headline. I was hoping somebody would read the story.
A total of 13 It's a good thing I'm here. A total of 13 aircraft suddenly vanished off radar for about 25 minutes. 25 minutes.
Sure, they were going, oh my God, it's Malaysia Air times 13.
On 2 different occasions over Austria and neighboring countries. Austria's flight safety monitor said, calling for an EU probe into the unprecedented incident.
It's the spy plane, the same one that flew over.
The flights vanished from air traffic control screens in Austria on June 5 and June 10 for 25 minutes each time. Markus Pohanka of Astro Control, Austria's flight safety organization, said Thursday. Air traffic control in neighboring regions of Germany and the Czech Republic also reported similar problems. Pohanka said the locations, height, and identity of 13 aircraft vanished over Austria both times in what he called unprecedented incidents. AP reported this, by the way. He added that some neighboring countries had experienced similar problems. The Daily Courier, based in Vienna, elaborated that similar problems were experienced by flight controllers in Munich, Karlsruhe in Germany, and in Prague in the Czech Republic. Pohanka declined to say which airlines and planes were involved, but suggested some may have been passenger jets, which fly at high altitudes. The EU's Eurocontrol and European Aviation Safety Agency will investigate the incidents. Pohanka stressed that at no time were any of the planes in danger, as air traffic controllers were immediately called to extra air traffic controllers were called to posts, and emergency measures were brought in, which included immediately establishing voice contact with the pilots and widening flight corridors. The Courier cited an unnamed expert as citing the problem was most likely to do with interference between aircraft transponders and the ground. Unprecedented. 25 minutes these planes were gone. Now I understand that they were in voice control and blah, 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 but come on, man. Seriously? What the F is going on with air traffic? I mean, is it the age of the equipment? Is it somebody messing with the equipment? Is it the United States playing some games again? Because I'm guaranteeing everybody, they are the responsible party behind the Malaysian airliner disappearing off the planet.
Yeah, if they weren't, they would have come out and said who was, because this is 2014.
Right.
Jumbo jets don't disappear from the planet with every inch of the planet under surveillance by at least 5 nations. No way. Just doesn't happen.
Doesn't happen.
Unless it's a global cover-up.
That's right. It's Friday. Everybody have an excellent weekend. I heard some chatter today about the direction that After the Last Cup has taken. So we're not going to do After the Last Cup the way we've done it since I took over. We're going to change things up tomorrow night. We're going to have a good time. We're going to laugh. We're going to joke around. We're going to spread some love and peace. Lance, my brother, have an excellent weekend. Go take a nap.
I got my daughter's graduation party tomorrow out at my dad's house, so we'll be pulling out Big Smoky.
Right on, man. Yeah. Send me some bacon, goddammit.
Oh, yeah. Peace and love. Peace and love.
Peace and love, everybody. Take care. Stay tuned. There's a rerun next. Turboville. Prepper Chicks probably after that. Anti-Media Radio. UCY.